The U.S. economic crisis in 2008 and 2009 has harshly impacted the tourism industry in Las Vegas. Visitation dropped by 7.3% over 2008 and 2009 as leisure travelers cut back on their discretionary spending. The city was also impacted by a very distinct U.S. event, which was what the industry now calls the AIG Effect. In the fall of 2008, AIG Insurance executives spent about $500,000 at a retreat in California. Once word spread of this event, it happened about a week after the company received $85 billion in a federal bailout. There was significant public outcry against this type of lavish spending from what was essentially a bankrupt company. Because of this negative perception of meetings in lavish resort destinations, Las Vegas also became a target of this sort of negative publicity, and as a result, many conventions and meetings were canceled during 2009 as companies sought to avoid any sort of negative public perception. Unfortunately, during the same time period of 2008-2009, the room supply in Las Vegas also grew. This put a great deal of competitive pressure on the casino resorts to discount their prices in order to gain share in a shrinking market. As a result, revenue per available room, a key performance metric, declined by 26% in 2009. This is much higher than the national average of 16% decline. So Vegas certainly suffered from an oversupply of rooms while demand shrank dramatically. And as a result, we saw bargain discount prices for hotels there. Unfortunately, even many of the visitors still, when they came, spent less. So the casino resorts were unable to make up the shortfall in room revenues with other types of revenues from food and beverage and gaming. As a result, this was one of the most impacted industries in Las Vegas. And again, these casino resorts also relied upon the business traveler to fill their hotels during the week or in off-peak seasons for leisure traveler. These travelers also spent a great deal more on their trips, even though they might have stayed for a shorter amount of time. The AIG effect certainly played a strong part in causing a decline in these high-revenue business travelers, which just further worsened the entire situation in the city. 2010 seems to be a turning point for Las Vegas, with visitation growing in March and April, although slightly. However, airline capacity is still constrained, and industry sources expect that air passengers to the city will still be down by about 2% for 2010. The uncertain economic recovery in the U.S. will certainly play a big part in driving leisure travelers to Las Vegas. If things continue to be positive, it is likely that the city could see a quicker uptick in growth in domestic visitors, but that is still very uncertain. However, the AIG effect has seemed to worn off. Many business travelers are back on the road and staying at high-end hotels. Conventions and meetings seem to be coming back, and in 2010 is actually expected to see growth there. 2011 does look very optimistic as well for more conventions and meetings. Las Vegas has one of the largest convention and meetings infrastructure, and it has been very aggressive in pricing in order to lure business travelers back to the city. Now, if these continue to return, pricing power is expected to return to both hotels and airlines and other tourism suppliers in about 2011. However, any sort of economic double-dip recession may undermine the return of the business travel. Furthermore, even if leisure travelers and business travelers do return, the scrutiny on expenses is expected to remain, and as a result, people may still spend less per trip than they normally would have. One of the bright spots for the city going forward is the expansion of McCarran International Airport, which is expected to be finished in mid-2012. That will add about 6 international gates, and the city has been very proactive in luring direct service from foreign carriers. As a result, adding this direct service, making it easier for international visitors to come to Las Vegas, could compensate for the slow or even maybe negative growth in domestic visitors.